Have you ever felt like the world is rushing ahead, leaving you behind in an almost unbearable solitude? You reach out to connect, but it feels like every bond you attempt to hold on to slips away, leaving behind an echoing silence that grows louder by the day. It might feel like everything and everyone you once held dear is being stripped away. My dear brothers and sisters, what if this is Allah pulling you closer to Him, away from all distractions? What if this isolation isn't a punishment, but instead a preparation for something far greater? Today we'll explore 7 profound reasons why Allah isolates His chosen ones. These reasons are deeply rooted in wisdom, often hidden in plain sight, waiting for us to understand. Before we begin, I ask you to reflect deeply. What if the loneliness you're feeling is Allah's way of calling you back to Him, pulling you away from the chaos of the world? Let's uncover the deeper meaning behind this divine seclusion and how it might just be the greatest blessing of your life. Reason 1. Isolation to protect your heart. Have you ever noticed how easily your heart can become distracted when you're surrounded by people? The noise of fleeting conversations, comparisons, and even harmful influences can slowly erode the purity of your heart. Sometimes Allah pulls you away, not to punish you, but to safeguard this most precious part of you. Think of your heart as a gem of immense value. To preserve its brilliance, you must protect it from anything that could tarnish or damage it. Allah, in His infinite wisdom, knows the potential of your heart. He sees how certain people or environments can corrode its purity, even in ways you might not realize. Imagine this. You find yourself surrounded by friends or colleagues who subtly mock your deen, encourage you to compromise on your principles, or distract you from your purpose. Over time, these small compromises can add up, and your connection with Allah may weaken. Then suddenly, those very people drift away from your life, leaving you hurt and confused. In hindsight, wasn't it Allah saving you from harm you couldn't see at the time? This separation is His mercy. It's an opportunity to reset, to realign, and to let your heart focus solely on Him. Remember the ayah. So do not weaken and do not grieve, and you will be superior if you are true believers. Quran 3:139. Your loneliness is an invitation for Allah to fill the void with His love, guidance, and peace. Let it remind you that the silence is not emptiness. It's a space for your Creator to nurture your soul. Reason 2. Isolation to refine your character. Have you ever noticed how, when you start focusing on improving yourself, the noise around you begins to fade? It's almost as if Allah removes distractions, the unnecessary chatter, and even the people who no longer align with your journey. Why? Because solitude is a powerful tool for refinement. Think about this. When you're constantly surrounded by noise, whether it's opinions, meaningless distractions, or even toxic relationships, it becomes nearly impossible to hear your own thoughts, let alone connect deeply with Allah. Solitude strips away these layers, forcing you to confront who you really are and what truly matters. Let me ask you, have you ever found yourself in those quiet, uncomfortable moments of being alone, suddenly aware of flaws or habits you've been avoiding? This isn't an accident. Allah isolates you to help you grow. It's in this stillness that you begin to depend solely on Him, realizing that your worth isn't tied to the approval of others, but to your relationship with your Creator. Take inspiration from the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Before receiving revelation, he would retreat to the cave of Hira for solitude and reflection. Those moments of isolation were not just physical, they were spiritual preparation. Similarly, your solitude is a time for introspection and growth. It's a divine opportunity to refine yourself and align your character with the path Allah has set for you. Reason 3. Isolation strengthens your relationship with Allah. Have you ever felt like no one truly understands your struggles, no matter how much you try to explain? This sense of being misunderstood isn't random. It's a divine invitation to deepen your relationship with Allah. In times of ease, it's natural to lean on friends, family, and material comforts. But when Allah isolates you, He removes these crutches, leaving you with no one to turn to but Him. It's a call to rely on Him completely, to recognize that He is sufficient for you. Let's reflect on this. How many times have you poured out your heart to Allah in tears, seeking comfort only when you felt there was nowhere else to go? Isolation forces this deep level of sincerity and reliance. It's not about distancing yourself from the Ummah. Islam emphasizes the strength of community. Rather, it's about retreating temporarily to realign and recharge spiritually so you can return. They may lack. Surah Al-Mu'minun 23, 1-3 reminds us, successful indeed are the believers who humble themselves in their prayers and who avoid vain talk. So let your silence be your shield. Use it to guard your peace, protect your heart, and remain connected to Allah. In the end, it's not the noise of the world that defines you. It's the quiet confidence that comes from knowing you're walking the path Allah has chosen for you. As you navigate the challenges of being watched, judged, or misunderstood, hold on to this truth. Their observations, opinions, and misunderstandings are not your burden to bear. Instead, they're opportunities to reflect the beauty of Islam through grace, patience, and unwavering strength. When you live for Allah's pleasure, every stare, every comment, and every trial becomes a reflection of the strength He knows you possess. So embrace your journey. Write in your heart the words, Ya Allah, guide me to always stay on the path you have chosen for me. Let this prayer not only reaffirm your commitment, but also inspire others to reflect on their own paths. And remember, the trials you face today are shaping you into a stronger, more resilient believer, someone ready to meet their Creator with a heart full of faith and a life full of purpose. May Allah bless you, guide you, and reward you abundantly. Keep striving, for the best is yet to come.